Greetings to all. Welcome to our Yoga Northwest community and beyond. My name is Kate. If I don't know you, most of you that are watching hopefully are some of my gentle back care students. And to all students, I certainly miss you, and I miss our more personal time together in the studio. This is what we have right now, is to film from our homes to yours. So we hope that you take advantage of it and get some really good home practice in. On a more personal note, to those of you that do take my classes regularly, if you haven't seen me for a little while, my big news is that I am halfway through pregnancy. So this spring quarter will actually be my last quarter teaching, probably until 2021. So hopefully that will give you a little incentive to stick around and take virtual classes with me, and you'll get to see me growing bigger every week. I think that's it as far as the news goes. What we'll be doing today is a brief 20-minute gentle sequence mostly for gentle back care students, but anyone that wants something more grounding, a little more floor work. And all you'll need for this practice is some kind of chair, and then ideally a blanket. It doesn't have to be a yoga blanket, but something that's dense and kind of a little heavier weight in regards to blanket. And obviously a space for your mat. So we'll begin with a familiar supported pose, legs on the chair. And I'm going to get into this with you. You'll slowly swing your legs up on the chair. Notice I have the backing of the chair away so that my feet are free to rest. And then what you'll be doing with your blanket, you have a few options. You don't necessarily need a head support here unless you need one. Otherwise, you can take the blanket and place it over your chest for warmth and weight. You could have a blanket up on the shins. Again, if you need a blanket for head and neck, please take that if that's a safety factor. Arms could be as so, out to the sides, straight or bent elbows, or hands resting to your center, above or below the blanket. So as you make your way here and get settled, I'm going to sit back up and talk you through relaxation. We'll be taking a few minutes of relaxation and observational breathing, and then eventually we'll move into a more organized, conscious way of breathing, the 5-count breath cycle. And this is a 5-count inhalation, a momentary pause where the lungs are feeling their fullness of breath, and a 5-count exhalation where we feel the lungs empty after the 5-count exhalation. We'll get to that here soon. So as you settle the weight of your body into the floor, into the support provided, you're welcome to close your eyes or keep your eyes soft and open if that's more comfortable. Progressively settle your arms and your legs heavy into the support. Feel the weighted quality of the back of your skull and the back of your pelvis. So just as much as you ground down and surrender your body into the support, also recognize the lightness and ease of your breath. In simple observational breathing, no technique. Some breaths will have greater depth, and others light. So for the next 5 or 10 breaths, as you watch your breath coming and going, as the passive observer, Feel the important interplay of relaxation of your facial features. Again, both arms and both legs settling heavy. With each passing breath, becoming a little more present. And as you're ready here, from passive, easy breathing, we will begin to deepen inhalations and lengthen exhalations as a way to prepare for the 5-count breath cycle. So exhale, empty out any busyness. An easy full breath in. And a long exhalation to prepare. Empty your lungs. As you're ready, inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the pause, relax your facial features totally. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, arms and legs totally heavy. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Momentary pause. Lungs are full. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel your lungs tissue soft and passive. Last time. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause in your fullness. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quiet pause. Take a big breath in, any amount, and long breath out. And once again, as you return to passive, easy breathing, notice any new freedom and spaciousness in your lungs. And also notice any new freedom in the muscle of your diaphragm, the main muscle of respiration. Sometimes referred to as our life muscle. All right, so ideally, the breath is the foundation for practice. So as we layer on different techniques, other shapes, other poses, please come back to your breath. Whether you choose to breathe passively, observational breathing, or in certain times you might take a 5-count breath cycle if that feels right. So from here, I'll lie down with you again. We'll move into pelvic tilts. So as you are on the chair, if you need to make any adjustments, please feel free to. You're welcome to place your hands low on your pelvis, on your abdomen, or keep your arms resting wherever they're comfortable. Now before we move into pelvic rocking, pelvic tilts, again, let the breath pair with the movement. So there's total relationship with movement and breath. So exhale, empty your lungs. Take an easy full breath in, shoulders stay heavy. And exhale, gently flatten the low back down toward the floor. Inhale, gently arch the low back away from the floor, feeling the belly almost lift and expand more. And exhale, gently flatten, press the sides of your low back to the floor. And continue here, taking the whole length of each phase of breath without tensing your arms. Your hands stay relaxed. And as you carry on here in pelvic tilts, can you initiate the movement as low as possible in your back? So it's very easy for the back rib area to become tight and clenching. So can the movement be as low as possible in the spine, initiating movement low in the lumbar, right at the top of the sacrum. Last few on your own here. Possibly take a 5-count breath cycle if that feels right, so you really slow down the movement. Maybe a pause. And a 5-count exhalation. Maybe a pause. And then as you come back to neutral, back to stillness, again, feel your breath flow in. And feel your breath be released. Okay, from here, a simple hip stretch. So we'll take right ankle on left knee first. Keeping the right foot ankle flexed. If you have enough of a stretch in the right hip, stay. If you are sliding everything forward to catch the back of the left thigh, try not to round or hike the shoulders forward. So keep the shoulders settled back and down, back of the neck long. And possibly you catch here, possibly you stay in the first phase. We'll take 3 big breaths. Sometimes it can be nice to rock side to side, gentle massage of the low back. And keeping the shoulders settled. If you want to add something else on here, you come back through center and slowly reach the left leg straight up to the ceiling. Back down. Now, option to add on, we'll take this one more place. The arms go wide. The legs will have to pull close. So for those of you that still have the leg on the chair, everyone slide the heel forward and slowly land the legs down to the floor. To your left in this case. Now you can see I like to hold the ankle here. You might gently guide the knee down toward the floor. Obviously, if you found that you didn't find the floor with ease, you might need another blanket. It's totally possible. Find that most people here land to the floor with ease. So as we are here, a couple more breaths. Emphasize the breath in the right side of your body, the right side of the rib cage. And technically here, directing the breath to the right side of the lungs, you are liberating the right side of your diaphragm. Maybe a 5-count breath cycle for the last big breath in. And long breath out. Now to safely come out, listen close. You unhook the ankle from the knee. We haven't moved into this quite yet, but activate your core muscles to roll onto your back so you're safe for your spine. And then, of course, we'll go right into the other side. So keeping the left foot flexed, left foot ankle on the right knee. Some of you might choose to stay here if this is more appropriate for your hip or knee or whatever. Or slide the heel forward. And as you reach and catch, if you are, keep the shoulders down and grounded to the floor, back of the neck long and relaxed. Again, if you're rocking, it's preferable to probably lift that right heel up from the chair so you have some freedom to rock side to side, keeping the shoulders settled. If you're adding on this movement, and then possibly recentering your spine, maybe straighten the right leg up, keeping the shoulders settled. It's a really common tension zone. The pecs tense up to pull the shoulders up, so settle the shoulders with gravity. Last big breath here centrally. Long breath out here centrally. Now, if for some reason you didn't do the twist the first side, stay where you are, just take a longer window stretch. Otherwise, now if you have the back of the chair like I do, you might have to slide things forward. And then from here, slowly drop the legs down to the floor. Now again, you can hold the ankle, the foot with the right hand, gently guide the left knee down, or just keep the arms wide apart. This time the left side body has the opportunity to really receive breath. So as you breathe, can you direct your breath to your left ribs? And slow down the breath cycle to really receive the benefit of mobilizing the left side of the diaphragm. Take one more 5-count breath in if you'd like. Maybe a pause. And a 5-count breath out. Now again, to come out, slowly unhook the ankle, engage your belly muscles, roll to your back, and land your legs back to the chair. If you need to, bring the chair back in closer. Take your time to do that. Before we transition from here, we're going to do a little bit of what I like to call core breathing, just to initiate the deeper abdominal muscles. So I'm going to have you remain lying down as you are. Make sure that your legs are still supported. I'm going to roll over and talk you through this. So as you are here with the legs on the chair, if you'd like a little more feedback with your hands, place your hands on your lower abdomen. Actually, let me backtrack. Place the hands so the thumbs and the index fingers are touching the lower ribs, and the bottom 3 fingers are at the top of the abdomen. So you're both feeling the lower rib cage and the upper abdomen with your hands. Make sure your shoulders are settled. Take a few passive breaths here just to arrive back as you are. And long exhalation. Empty out totally. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, draw in and up through the lowest part of your belly. Compact your abdomen strong. Inhale, release that tone, re-expand everything, abdomen and rib cage. And on an exhalation exclusively, draw in and up through the lower abdominal wall, even pelvic floor lifting. Inhale, release that tone. Do that 2 more times. Exhale to engage, keeping your face relaxed, your shoulders heavy. Inhale to re-expand. Last time, exhalation engagement. Inhale to re-expand. So these aren't pelvic tilts. Your body is actually still. Once again, exhale to re-engage. Now, can you keep maybe 50% engagement of your abs as you breathe in? Don't lose the engagement. So what we're feeling for here is the abdominal wall compact throughout the breath cycle. Your hands are on your ribs to still feel that your rib cage is expanding throughout inhalation, even though your core is engaged throughout the entirety of the breath cycle. Take 5 more rounds of breath here. Core breathing. You're bringing in a combination of deep core power and relaxed, full 3-dimensional breathing. All the while, facial features are relaxed. Take 1 more breath in with your core still engaged. Remember, it's just 50%, so you're not over-efforting. And exhale, reaffirm that core engagement. Now, keeping your core engaged, continue to breathe. Slowly hug your knees to your chest and roll to your left side, keeping your core engaged as you push yourself up so you stay strong and stable as you transition. Now, at this point, we're coming to hands and knees. And maybe your abdominal muscles are actually still engaged as you're moving around here. That would be most ideal, especially if your low back is tender. We tend to let the belly hang out, not have a continuous engagement. Ideally, if there's something going on in the spine, we have tone in certain amounts throughout movement. So as you come to hands and knees, let's play with simple pelvic tilts. So from hands and knees, relax your belly muscles totally for a moment. Spread your fingers. Hands are directly under the shoulders, maybe a little bit ahead if you have wrist and shoulder issues. Pull the shoulders back, back of the neck long. Very little or no engagement in the belly for now. Exhale to round your back body and release your head and neck down. Inhale to gently arch your spine. Pull the shoulders back, lift your chest forward and up. Exhale to round. Release the head and neck down. Shoulders stay back as you lift your chest forward, looking only to the top of the mat, no further. Take a couple more rounds here in pelvic tilts, or excuse me, cat-cow, with little to no core engagement. All right, so after your next exhalation, come back to a neutral spine. So reset your shape here. Correct your hands, spread the fingers. You can turn the hands slightly out. Hands can also be in front of the shoulders if the wrists or shoulders are tender. Not too much, but just the right amount. Pull the shoulders back. Lift up and out of the wrists. Keep the back of the neck long. On your exhale, re-engage deep and low in your abdomen. Keep that strong, deep, low engagement throughout cat-cow. Exhale to round. Press the shins down. Keep the belly engaged as you arch forward and pull the shoulders back. Belly stays engaged. About 50% effort as you go through cat-cow. Feel how this has re-affected, has changed your cat-cow sequence with a little bit of abdominal tone. Just one more time in each direction. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. Remember, keep the abdomen compact as you come through. And exhale back to child's pose. Breathe, child's pose. You can bring the elbows further back if the shoulders have any issues going on. Rest the forehead. Obviously, if this is hard on your hips or your knees for now, just keep the hips high and the head low. Take a few more breaths in child's pose. And reclaim some of that core activation. From here, we're simply going to stand up, but keep some of your abdominal tone as you transition up to standing. This is where we'll take the chair for downward facing dog. Now, ideally, your chair would be at the wall. If you only have the chair on the mat, that's fine. Just know that if you push the chair a lot, it could tip or slide. So a chair at the wall is best. I'm going to stand for a moment. So to move to downward facing dog with the chair, re-engage deep and low in your abdomen. Stand tall, take a full 3-dimensional breath in. And exhale, bend forward. Catch the seat of the chair. Keeping a little bit of abdominal tone, walk the legs back. Downward facing dog. Now to start, if you like, put a little bend in the knees, re-engage your abdomen, and send the hips up and back. If you feel too tight or close in dog pose, you can always step the legs further back. Release your head and neck down. We'll take about 5 big breaths here. With each inhalation, spread your toes. With each exhalation, release your head and neck totally. Re-engage your abdomen. Breathing full and deep into the lungs, even in dog pose. Now in this dog pose, we are emphasizing that continuous core activation. So last few big breaths here, keeping the lower abdomen strong and compact. Again, head and neck totally relaxed. From this dog pose, we're going to walk forward, so feel that your abdomen is still engaged as you approach your chair. We'll briefly stand up, only to lie back down. Now, of course, if you have more time, I recommend doing another dog pose. One is never enough. So if you have more time, you can do a second. And we'll essentially, after you've done your second dog pose, if you are, We're coming back to the chair. Now, I put the blanket here for my head and neck. That may or may not be needed. Some of you, most of you actually don't need the blanket in this, unless you do. You're welcome to place the blanket back over your chest and your abdomen. Once again, we're going to take one last hip stretch, or one last leg stretch. So I catch the back of my left thigh, shoulders stay settled, and we're going to straighten the leg up, drop the heel back down, and do that 5 more times. Straighten the leg up, drop the heel back down. So this is more of a dynamic stretch of the hamstrings. Now for those of you that prefer to just stay here and not be going up and down, you can. Hold the back of the thigh and straighten the leg up, staying continuously, maybe taking some ankle circles, or if you like, going up and down continuously. This is a bit more helpful for those of you that struggle with sciatica, to go up and down rather than a long hold. Okay, if you are feeling any sciatica symptoms come up during this, don't straighten your leg all the way, because you have to address the nerve before the hamstrings. I know some of you do have sciatica issues, some of you that I work with, so please remember what you need to do to take care of yourself. All right, going to the other side. Catch. Make sure the opposite leg is resting. Shoulders are grounded to the floor, so the shoulders are not hiking. As you straighten the leg up and back down. Anytime we do things like this, one side then the other, there's always noticing to be had. So does this side feel a little more restricted in the back of the thigh? And if that was the case, then I would encourage you to go back to that tighter side one last time after you complete the first time. So again, if you prefer more of a long hold, stay with the leg up. Maybe you want to introduce a little bit of movement in the ankle. Those of you that have sciatica symptoms, you might just stick with the movement pattern for now, if that's more appropriate. Okay, so when you feel like you've had about equal side to side, this is when we'll return to instant Maui or legs on the chair. If you'd like to give your knees one last squeeze in, both knees, and rock side to side before you go there, that's an option. Gently massaging the spine. And as you're ready, legs to the chair. Arms in any comfortable direction. Now for me, this is very comfortable. For some of you, this may not be the case. So arms alongside, hands resting is just fine. Once you arrive to your setup, we'll briefly go back through the breath sequence, really brief, the one that we started with. So stay as you are. I'm going to roll out and sit up and talk you through the breath. So as you are here, arms and legs settled, both arms and both legs heavy to the support, back of the skull heavy, back of the pelvis heavy. And within observational breathing, notice any pattern areas of tension that are unique to you that you might play with here to be released progressively. Jaw, tongue and throat, eyes, passive and soft. And as you're ready, once again, begin to deepen your breath cycle. Long exhalation, empty out. Full breath in, pause at the top maybe. And prepare with a long exhalation. We'll take 2 5-count breath cycles together. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, any amount. Long breath out. Please stay in relaxation for the next really 3 to 5, 10 plus minutes. Here with the chair, or if you prefer otherwise. And thank you for joining our pilot debut of gentle back hair sequence. We will have class here pretty soon, so hopefully this entices you to stay with our practice together virtually until we meet again in person. Thank you for being here.